Welcome to Acting. Today we're going to talk about unions.
Yeah, so basically the actors' unions are just like any other trade union. Basically what a labor union is it's an organization of workers that basically come together and work for common goals.
Yeah, they also do things like protecting the integrity of the trade, achieving higher pay and benefits such as health care and some retirement plans, and then they also do a few other things.
Yeah, like they can define safety standards, they can get better work conditions. Basically, that's how labor unions got started, to put together better work conditions for workers in the industrial era. But nowadays what they do mostly is protect the integrity of the trade. So usually they're like, you have like a crafts union who protects all the workers who work in that specific industry, and that's the case with the actors unions.
Yeah, and so next up we'll do is give a list of unions.
Yeah, so in Canada, the main union, if you're in film, TV, or radio, is ACTRA, the Alliance of Canadian Television and Radio Artists. There's also the UBCP if you're in British Columbia, that's the Union of British Columbia Performers. They used to be separate, but now they've merged, so the UBCP is essentially the ACTRA of BC. If you're in stage theatre, there's also the CAEA, the Canadian Actors Equity Association. And if you're in Quebec, if you're working in French, you can probably join the UDA, L'Union des Artistes.
Yeah, and then in the United States, we've got a merged union now, which is SAG-AFTRA, which merged a couple years ago, and that's the Screen Actors Guild and the American Federation of Television and Radio Artists. Yeah, and then and that's for radio, television, and film. Then for stage, we have what's called Actors Equity, and that's American Actors Equity.
And in the UK, it's Equity, and there also used to be another union, the Variety Artists Federation, I think it was, and they also merged. There's a lot of mergers going on, I guess.
Yeah, so what you want to do in this case is you'll definitely want to check with the websites. You want to go and get the latest information directly from the source, and we'll list those in a little bit at the end of this video. We'll put a list of the videos, but first we're going to talk about like what the purpose of the unions are.
Yeah, so basically the purpose of a union is to maintain and to improve the conditions for all their employees and for the members of the union. It's also to bargain and to negotiate with the employer on behalf of the union members.
Yeah, and some of the things that the unions can negotiate, they'll negotiate labor contracts, better wages, working rules. They'll do stuff about the complaint procedures. They'll set up a whole proper way of taking in complaints and then dealing with the complaints. They'll also go over the rules governing hiring. They'll make sure that it's a fair hiring conditions. Also, for firing and promotions of workers, they'll also make sure that everything is dealt with correctly and up on the up and up. And then they also have a list of benefits that being in any one of these unions that you're entitled to. Then the other big thing is workplace safety and policies. They'll make sure they're always up to date and everything is in order. And they'll also make sure that you know all of your rights and your responsibilities.
Yeah. And one last thing about unions is that they'll usually have regular meetings. This applies to all unions, but in ACTRA, the meetings will like unions, they do same things where like you can vote on different motions to like change rules and regulations. But the actors unions also will sometimes have awards, like SAG-AFTRA has awards and ACTRA also have awards, and then you can vote as a member for who gets to win the award for, say, Actor of the Year or whatever.
Yeah, and sometimes there's special promotions that being in a union, like during Oscar season, I think they've stopped this now in the United States, but during the voting season for the SAG Awards, if you were a member of the Screen Actors Guild, you could also get into see some movies for free. So they would, like having a SAG card would get you into the movies, like you and a guest.
That's all part of the benefits, and we'll be talking some more about that in a different video. We just wanted to introduce the unions in this one, and give you a few pointers on what they are and how to work. So that's it for now. Thanks a lot for watching.
Thanks.